be reacting to the most popular Japan travel advice TikToks to see which ones are legit and which ones are full of shit. Hey there, welcome to the channel. If you're new, again, my name is Muramasa, and I've been living in Japan for more than 10 years. I've graduated elementary school, middle school, and high school here. The college part I'm still working on. And throughout my life here in Japan, I have had an insane amount of culture shock compared to my time when I was living with my family over in America. And you know, recently, whenever you go online and you open like TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and you look up the word Japan, you're always gonna be hit in the face with the types of videos that are like, hey, don't do this in Japan. You wanna get out of Japan alive? Do not do these 5 things. And you know, to be honest, as a half American, half Japanese guy who lived in Japan for most of his life, frankly, a lot of the information that these foreign YouTubers tend to spread about like etiquette and advice in Japan, it tends to be quite inaccurate. And in my last video that talked about the tourist epidemic that was happening in Japan, I specifically said I'll be releasing a simple what to do and what not to do when in the country within the next few weeks, and I've already started the scripting of my next video. Check the video out if you haven't already, link in description. And you know, I thought, yeah, maybe, you know, just writing down a video and just reading it word for word, it could be exciting, but I thought maybe it'd be a little more interesting if I actually reacted to these Japan travel advice, don't do this, don't do that type TikToks, and tell you guys the reality, you know, is this accurate or is it not? Alright guys, enough talk, let's just go right to the videos.
Also, thank you Akidearest for inspiring me to make this video. I love you so much.
Things you shouldn't do in Japan. If you drop something on the train tracks, do not jump immediately down to go get it, because you might get to meet your maker. Instead, head back to the train station and give the wise train masters a call. They'll need to plan the rescue for 3 hours, but eventually they'll get their gear and take another 3 hours to fail. They'll keep repeating that for a couple of hours, but eventually you'll get the item that you drop back.
Alright, so this is a really interesting one. I didn't expect to see this right off the bat. If anything, I didn't expect to see this at all. So yeah, if you drop your things on the train tracks, don't grab them. That is, I feel like that's self-explanatory, you know? Isn't this the same in other countries? You know? I really like how a lot of these videos say, don't do this in Japan. And it's just like the most basic things, you know? It's like, hey, don't kill people in Japan. Did you know that shoplifting is illegal in Japan? You know, it's just, yeah, no shit. Anyway, yeah, this is a huge issue if you actually do jump onto the train tracks. This is actually a cause for many accidents here in Japan. But actually, the cool thing about a lot of stations here in Japan is that they have these sliding doors that, you know, that'll close, you know, whenever the train isn't there. This helps, you know, with the dropping things, and it also helps suicide prevention, because a lot of people unfortunately like to jump in front of trains in Japan. Anyway, yeah, that was a short and really interesting one. But yeah, let's move on to the next one.
For the love of God, don't do these things when you come to Japan. There are so many things you don't want to do on the train, but one thing no one talks about is the sneaky out-of-service train. If no one gets on it when it stops or everybody gets off suddenly, then don't make the mistake I've made so many times and just follow the crowd. Then when it's time to get on, put your backpack in the front when it's crowded, get your spot, and be quiet.
Okay, the out-of-service part. It literally says out-of-service in English. But I do understand that sometimes you might miss it, but you know, this person said it 100% correct. If people aren't getting on the train when it's arriving, that pretty much means that the train isn't gonna be going anywhere. So a good thing to do is to follow the crowd when it comes to trains, because whatever train you're getting on, unless you're in like some super small prefecture that has like a population of 4, there's always gonna be a line of people getting on the train. Also, another cool thing that'll help you from preventing this issue is actually downloading these apps that kind of tell you the train schedules. The app that I use, right here, it actually tells me the platform that the train is gonna leave from and the platform that the train will arrive at when you get to your destination. It's really cool, and I'm sure there's English options out there, so definitely check that out. Anyway, let's keep going.
Also, don't use the train like a jungle gym. I've seen tourists use these like monkey bars.
Okay, huge culture shock for you new guys who ride the New York subway. Japanese people don't like to do, you know, dance parties and, you know, stuff like that in the trains. It's probably one of the most non-chaotic places in Japan. Like, the trains are so quiet unless you're getting on the last train in Tokyo. That's like a whole different world. Like, Japanese people are just, they stand there, they sit down, they're locked on their phone. No one is saying a word, and I'm sure you've seen this in every other travel video about Japan. If you make even the slightest amount of noise, you will stand out. I'm not saying that standing out is a bad thing, just don't stand out for the wrong reasons.
And if that's too complicated, then you can get a taxi. But don't miss open taxis because the colors are reversed. Green means taken and red means available. Also, don't...
Yep, accurate. Just remember, taxis can get a little pricey, but you can actually calculate the amount of money that it's gonna cost on a taxi beforehand if you just Google it. Alright, yeah, that was a good video. Really solid, really accurate. You can tell that this person has a lot of knowledge and experience here in Japan. Really nice. Alright, next video.
Things that you should never do in Japan Part 2. Number 5. If you find this unusual vending machine, do not drink the soup stock that is inside. It contains flying fish and is supposed to be used for cooking only.
Yep, Japan is known for having probably the weirdest and largest variety amount of vending machines in the world. Dashi is soup stock. You do not want to be drinking it as if it was a green tea bottle. But to be completely honest, I don't really see them that much, so the chances of you making this mistake, I would say, are pretty low, if not zero.
Number 4. If you're gonna board a train in Japan, don't wear your backpack on your back, and instead put it in the front so you don't bother.
Okay, this one, a lot of people are gonna be saying this. Put your backpack on the front. Now, yes, however, I don't really do this too much. Yeah, I might seem like the bad guy, whatever. But a lot of Japanese people don't really do this too. Especially, during rush hour. It's like the 7 levels of hell condensed into one train car. It's already bad as is, and a lot of people are just like, fuck it. They don't even bother to put their bags in the front. But, that extra step does go a long way. So, if you're feeling generous, yeah, why not put the bag on the front?
If you spot celebrities, don't take pictures because they'll get mad. But apparently they can film you without your consent.
Okay, this is also something that I don't 100% agree with, but I do understand and respect. Like, a lot of Japanese people say, yeah, don't bother the celebrities on their day off, this and that. And I get it, but, most of the celebrities, they're gonna be happy to take your picture with you. No one's gonna get mad at you for saying that you really like their content, you're a fan of what they do. A few years ago, I actually met Giguk and Sitsnap, also known as like my heroes during the quarantine era. At first I was like, come on, it's their day off, blah, blah, blah. But, I grew a pair of nuts. I walked up to them like, hey, yo, I'm a huge fan. Is it alright if I get a picture? And they were like the most nicest people ever, They're like, yeah, of course, yeah, took a picture with me, gave me a fist bump, So I do understand if you want to respect their private time, but let's be honest, you're not gonna really be seeing a celebrity every day, This might be the last time you see them. And if it's someone that you really love, really admire, I'd say walk up to them and ask for a picture. 2. If you attend a cosplay event, don't take videos or pictures of cosplayers without permission, because obviously they'll get mad and you'll probably get kicked out. I've never been to like any of these cosplay events. The biggest one is called Komike. It's held in Tokyo. But like, yeah, come on. You wouldn't feel good if a complete stranger was just taking you like this. Come on, this isn't even about Japan. Like I said in the beginning, this isn't about Japan. This is just common sense. If you're gonna take a picture or a video of someone, ask. And I do get it that, Japan is a lot stricter when it comes to this, more than other countries. But still, just ask for permission. Yes, it's an extra step, but it's gonna save you a lot of trouble in the long run. Number 10, if you're gonna catch the first or last train, and you're extremely tired from partying all night, don't use the train seats as your bed. Yeah, do not use the train seats as your bed. However, and this might be an unpopular opinion, use the train seats as a bed if there's like no one on the train. If there are 0 people, yes, I think you're fine. We party, it's good. Sometimes you party a little more than usual. That's life. But if you're riding like the big train rides, honestly, those will never be empty, especially the first train and the last train. So even if you wanted to sleep in the trains, it's pretty much impossible. But yeah, if it's like the super small trains, or if it's like empty and it's gonna be empty, taking a few seats does not hurt. But be mindful of other people, don't go throwing up on the train, or don't yell or scream and sing or whatever. Just keep to yourself. If you don't harm them, they won't harm you. Good to go. This video was good. There were some parts I didn't really 100% agree with, but overall, they were talking about some good things, it was pretty accurate. Yeah, not bad. let's go to the next one.
Don't make my mistake by wearing this in Japan. Japan is still very much in its modest is hottest era, which means that showing your shoulders or, God forbid, a little bit of collarbone like this is low-key scandalous. And with so many traditional...
Yeah. This is something that Akidearest was also talking about. Yeah, like modest is hottest, that is actually like really accurate when it comes to fashion in Japan. A lot of people don't really show off their bodies, they don't show off, you know, shoulders, especially the ladies. And you know, I'm not a lady, so I can't speak too much about it, but treating it as if it's a bad thing kind of feels a little bit off. It doesn't feel, you know, I don't think it's like 100% the case.
Religious sites and ceremonies that you can go to. Sometimes covering up will make you feel a bit more comfortable and probably get you less stares. Probably. Also,
yeah, so like the modest is hottest thing is like so mainstream in Japan that like if you have like even a little bit of skin showing, you will get stares, especially from the stinky and smelly businessmen after their 9 to 5, probably 9 to 7 with 2 hours of unpaid overtime if they're lucky. You will get stares if you do, you know, show a little skin. Yeah, that's something that is a must know before you travel to Japan. And also like these ceremonies and religious events, yeah, you might want to cover up when you go to those. Think of it as kind of like going to a wedding. You know, you're not gonna wear sweatpants and a tank top to a wedding. You know, you dress up, you know. You dress up in appropriate clothing. Think of it like that.
don't wear flimsy shoes. I know that it seems like coming to Tokyo is time to flex your fashion harder than you flexed in your life, but tourists typically walk like 20,000 steps a day here, so maybe take it easy on the heels and flip-flops. And when it's sunny and hot here, people tend to add layers instead of taking them away. A lot of people don't like tanning, so you'll see them use these armbands to protect from UV rays.
Yes, the whole shoes thing, yeah. You want to be careful when you're walking around 20,000-30,000 steps a day. You do not want to be doing those in heels or even like in Dr. Martens. Like, those are my go-to shoe. But if you're walking around all day in them, you are asking for disaster when you take off your socks after you get back to your hotel.
But in all honesty, most tourists aren't gonna blend in anyways, so wear what—
That's like the most accurate thing that's been said in the videos that I've been reacting. Tourists, you will not blend in. So yeah, do take it easy on yourself. You're not gonna blend in anyway, so like, don't stress too much over things.
Wear whatever makes you feel good.
Exactly, wear whatever makes you feel good, you know? There's a lot of tips and tricks and advice, you know, and I'm saying a lot of things too. But at the end of the day, no matter what kinds of stares that you get from people, you know, you're dressing in a specific way for yourself, I hope. And you know, at the end of the day, the main reason that you're wearing what you're wearing is because you like it and you want to wear it. So yeah, don't worry too much of the eyes of other people. I'm really happy to see that there's like a lot of accurate videos. Not a lot of these videos are saying too crazy things. If you ask me, that means that we're seeing an improvement of content towards like Japanese travel tips, and I love it. I'm digging it so much. All right, let's move on to the next one.
This is a tip if you're going to Japan and you're visiting your friend. Please don't be that person who doesn't bring cash, okay? Japan is a cash society. It doesn't matter if you think Tokyo is living in the future now. You can't just rely on your credit card, okay? So if you meet up with your friend and you don't have any cash and then they have to pay for you, and most likely they're Japanese, so they're not gonna feel comfortable asking you to pay back, don't do that, please. It happened to me and I'm like, bruh.
Okay, so a few things about this one. Yeah, Japan is a cash society, but surprisingly that's starting to die down a little by a little. Most places do accept card, but there are a lot of places where you can't split the bill. The two of us ate here, can each of us pay for our individual meals? Some places do that, some places don't. You just gotta ask, you know. But when it comes to paying back your friends in Japan, and if you're a cashless guy like myself, there's a really cool app called PayPay. A lot of Japanese people use this app, and what it is, it's pretty much the Japanese equivalent to PayPal. Yeah, you just charge money. You can link it to like your bank account as long as you have like ID. But if you don't, you can still like charge it at like an ATM. If you have this app, you can just send your friend the money that you owe them, or you can ask them to send the money that they owe you. And chances are, a lot of Japanese people do have this app. I have my app. All my college friends have this app. It's like a lifesaver, and it is a must need. It's like one of those apps you absolutely need to have when you're coming to Japan. So yeah, this one I didn't really agree with that much, but Japan is a cashless society. Yeah. but at least we got some good out of it. Alright guys, I think that's more than enough for today. Hopefully you guys were able to get something out of this video. If you enjoyed this video, check out the other videos on my channel. Feel free to like and subscribe, and comment if you want to see any other types of videos. I'm always open to video suggestions, and yeah, thanks for watching, weirdos, and I'll see you in the next video.